Hi, okay, so I've been taking, today marks day 50 on the hormone replacement therapy. I wanted to do an update at day 30, but it got away from me, and that's okay because at this point there've been more changes that may be visible to you guys. I, of course, notice changes in my own body because it's my body and I know my body and I live here. So anything that happens, I see. Um, but so quick rundown so far. Changes I've seen. Well, at about week 3, I started to notice changes in my skin and my hair. And at this point, it's just a matter of those changes taking foot and taking off and going farther. So there's definitely been a change to the texture of my skin and of my hair. A slight change, not a huge change, but a change that I've noticed that's noticeable. Also, at about week 3, week 4, my nipples got really sore. Actually came with some growth in them. Like my nipples actually grew first and they were sore and tender, and then the tissue around them now has started to flesh out. It started to sort of spread. It would be like if you think of something swelling in a point like your nipple and then the swelling spreading from there is kind of how the growth is happening. So, and that's been pretty interesting. Obviously, something I've never experienced before, totally new experience. So, that's pretty crazy. My mom says to keep on my training bra at all times because it trains your boobs. So, we do want perky ones, don't we? Okay. Uh, Other changes. So I noticed changes already in my, like the flesh on my body in general, besides the breast tissue. I noticed changes in the flesh on my body or the fat distribution. It's very, again, subtle, but it is something that I've noticed. Like my thighs are holding more, they're holding more of my body weight, it seems. It seems like they're holding more. And in general, it seems like my body fat has probably gone up. Like if I were to test my body fat now, it's probably a little bit different than the last time I checked it. A little bit higher. While I still had access to Fit Check, I was monitoring my body fat percentage, and I did notice that it was moving in an upward direction, which is something that I don't experience typically, and I haven't experienced in a really long time, at least a year from like first starting to work there and first changing the my activity level to where it was while I worked there. That's definitely gotta be based on the estradiol changing my body's fat composition. So, other changes. This is probably totally a fluke thing, but I have these shoes, and these shoes, they're my size, so they fit. They're the right size for me and everything, but for some reason now they're really a lot easy. Well, I guess they weren't hard before, but they're easier to get on, if that makes sense. I slip my foot in there and I just zip it up. Whereas before, it was I had more trouble with the zipper, but that could totally be just the zipper being finicky, sometimey. I don't know. It could be the zipper though, and not a change in my foot. I was also thinking I had heard something before about the changes in fat deposition can also change the size of your hands and your feet because you I would imagine that would be due to like there being less tissue there because of the fat deposition changes. And I have noticed just throughout life that some male people have really fat fingers. And so maybe that has is what happens, that fat redistributes, but I don't know because I've always had pretty slender fingers and toes and stuff. So, I don't know. But they are easier to slip on now. Yep. So far, the only negative side effect that I have encountered has been it seems like the hormones have made my stomach a little bit more sensitive. So, that I don't really consider a side effect because it just helps me to not eat garbage. You know what I mean? It helps me to not eat crappy food because that's more likely to upset my stomach now than it used to be. So I had a bit of a thing with my mom. She had a bit of a meltdown because she didn't know exactly what I was taking as far as the hormones. And so to find out that she didn't know that information, but that these things were rolling and happening, she was very upset about that. And in hindsight, I totally understand. I do. You know, she has a medical background and just wants to, like, make sure that, like, she's aware of what's going on. I don't know, but, you know, it's just one of those things. Like, there's that conversation is, like, something that I'm having over and over and over again at this point. And I understand that that is necessary. But I think people also have to understand that sometimes things are just going to get like glided over or like because they're so mundane to me because I have been dealing with the bigger umbrella things going on in my life, the bigger umbrella issues, or um, even related specifically to the gender transition. Because I've been dealing with the bigger umbrella issues for so long, the deets are so trivial to me that it has to be expected on some level that I'm going to forget things and gloss over things and just skip right along because I have a life full of things happening that happen in people's lives. I suppose maybe my face is a little bit different. At about at about a month, I noticed something a little bit different with the middle part of my face, like my upper lip, like this area, upper lip, cheeky sort of here. And I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what exactly happened or if anything happened. Because sometimes I wonder if I am sort of seeing. It's not always easy for me to tell what is happening right in the moment and what is a part of a vision. That's the reality of it, and so that's why I can never really be sure. That's why this is cool. These having these videos. If you recognize any changes, let me know. I'd enjoy that. That would be fun. Let me know.